Hi, this is Miss D at D Special Things, my YouTube channel. My blogspot is also the same thing. I wanted to show you what I've been doing this year. I wanted to do ICADs this year, and I wanted to do it more than I did it last year. Last year I started doing ICADs, and when I came across them, I thought it was the best idea ever. So of course I started doing them, and then I kind of slowed down. Then the ICADs that I have, I would put them in packages that I would send out. I would give them away. Excuse my fingers because they are horrible about now. I need to do a manicure. And so this year I decided I was going to do ICADs. Okay, however you do them. I've seen so many different techniques or processes or ways that they're done. I've seen people do ABCs where they actually use the first letter of the alphabet, go through all of the letters of the alphabet. I've seen them do one a day. I've seen them do them periodically. I've seen them do them all at one time. I was actually helping my girlfriend out, or one of the ladies. She's a real good friend that I scrap with. Yes, my girlfriend. And I was helping her out by giving her little tidbits of information to put on the card, like use 2 colors. You got to have a stencil. You got to use a image stamp. Things like this, because initially she wasn't able to do them. And once I started giving her information, she was able to bring, you know, show her work on this little 3x5 card. Well, I looked through some more videos and I found that, yeah, this is also a way that some of the challenges, the ICAD challenges went, whereas people would give buzzwords per se, or they would tell you what to do to the card. Well, my thing was, this year, my challenge is to actually use techniques that I had not used or wanted to use, find out about. And let me show you, start showing you my cards. This box, this is a cigar box, and it has a hole here. And mind you, as you can see, I gessoed it already. I have not altered the box yet. When I alter it, I'll show it to you, but I wanted to go ahead and gesso this box. This kind of what's the word? Yeah, this, I kind of claimed this box for my ICAD. So being that I gessoed it, it says, okay, that box will be used for ICADs. But I wanted to show you some of the ICADs that I did already, and I think I don't know if I mentioned ICADs. If you don't know, you might want to Google it on YouTube. It's index card a day. I've read 3 or 4 different places where someone have taken credit for doing these, so I can't give you the history of them. I just think it's a great idea. But anyway, this is my first one that I did for the year, for 2014. And you know what? It was hard for me to find the little alphabet with numbers in my scrapbook room, because I had a whole box of these things that I got from a warehouse box sale once, and I couldn't find them anyway. But anyway, I finished this. And I used gelatos, I used stamps, I used the actual index cards, cut them up. I used a Amy Tangerine stamp on here. I used the little letters, and I forgot who they were by. I used, matter of fact, a couple of stamps on here. But this is my New Year ICAD. And I also used the word reflect here. And this is another one. I used a, matter of fact, this image is not a stamp. I did use texture paste. I actually made texture paste this time. Yes, I own loads of texture paste, but I had a recipe that I kept saying I was going to try, and I had one that you use gesso, Mod Podge, cornstarch, and then the other one you use gesso, baby powder in Mod Podge. So this is it. I actually made it. So I'm actually going to use it, though I have, and I like the idea that I can make this the consistency that I wanted. So that's great, even with the Mod Podge that I already have. I mean, even with the texture paste that I already have. This, I have some coarse texture paste. I have some, I have quite a few different types of texture paste. Yeah, but I wanted to make my own so that I can have the consistency that I wanted. But this is pretty much a stamp. That is not a stamp. This is a napkin, and I decoupaged the napkin on. But this is the napkin that I used. Great, huh? And I just fussy cut it. And I used it on this card, and I used some rub-ons on it. And what I did this time, because I know I will not be able to make a card a day, I figured in one sitting I could just sit and play. This right here is just some doodles and stamps and some ink gel. I think on here I actually used Tim Holtz distress stains on here, his distress paint. I used some washi tape, and I used Diane Reevely's Dream. This one is a Andy Skinner stamp, and I used gelatos here, and I used a foam stamp. This is a clotting helmet. I'm gonna show you this stamp because not this stamp, this is a stencil. I'm going to show you this stamp because I don't have the outline stamp for it, but I have the other portion of it, and when I saw them I thought they would make a great tool or technique for doing the ICADs. So of course I wanted it. This right here, I use a thicker. I use stamps. I used yeah, the little itty bitty Studio G dollar stamps here also. I used a gel pen, and that's, oh, I used on the background, I used the origami paper, and I just adhered it to the card. And this one, I just pretty much used the thickers. I used those clotting helmets foam stamps again. I took some tissue paper, I put it on there. I cut out, I stamped the Julie Nutting stamps, and I fussy cut those. These are by Prima. And I just doodled around the edges. And these are the ones that I made, all the ones that you've seen so far are the ones that I made on January 1st, 2nd, or 3rd. This is one I made November 30th. And it just says Art Journal. And this actually has 3 teeny felt hearts on it. I doodled on it. I stamped on it. I used Tim Holtz distress paint on it. Yeah. And this one, I'm just trying to come up with different techniques that I can get different ideas. And I've been watching loads of videos, so as I watch the videos, I'm sure these are going to get better. This one, I just stamped it. It was super easy. I did use Tim Holtz distress paints on this one also. And there you go. Yep, I just stamped it, outlined it, and I used a rub-on. Simple as that. And these are, and that's all the ones that I've actually done already. Now what I do is, in sitting, when I do, like when I'm doing jelly painting or doing doodling in my art journaling, I'll leave these close by me, and I'll just take the extra paint and I'll go ahead and do my cards, so that when I come back later I'll have something, you know, readily available to play with, so I don't have to worry about that process. But I also keep some gessoed so that I don't have to stop and wait to gesso them either. So I'll probably sit today and gesso a bunch more, but this is actually what I'm going to use to store my ICADs this year, and I'll have to come back and show you exactly what I'm doing. I also will show you some of the different techniques, like this right here. I was talking with another lady on a different site, and she wanted to try a coffee technique. I did a book from someone on YouTube, did one, and it came out so gorgeous, but she used the tea dye technique. I tried the tea, I couldn't make mine work, so I knew I had these, the walnut ink crystals. I knew I had this from years ago, and I have a few of them now because once I start using it, I found it online, and I said, okay, it's a lot cheaper now than it was when I originally bought it. But I was able to get this at Joann's.com for about $5 on sale. $5, yeah, somewhere around there. A little over $5 on sale. And what I do, as you see here, these, I put mine in a spray bottle. And as you can see here, I sprayed these and let them air dry. But normally when I'm doing pages, like I did the book, I could show you a book that the book I was talking about. This book, I learned this technique from, I forget the lady's name, but I'll put it on the bottom. And what I do with these pages, and I haven't finished this book yet, so I'll have to show you when I finish. I did another one that I totally finished, and I hope I haven't given it away, but I don't think so. But anyway, I use the walnut ink crystals. For one, I guess, like I said, I drank my coffee, so. And I just thought this was an easier way of doing it. You can also use the color wash, and it works the same. But what I do to dry mine is I actually put it, turn my oven down to about 200, and I put it on a pan that I have, that I use just for crafting, and I leave it there for not long. It doesn't even take 2-3 minutes. It dries, and it dries with these marks on it. So yeah, this is my way of getting that tea dye effect. I don't know, some people call it whatever. So that's one of the techniques that I wanted to use. I also came across this last year a art masking fluid. Someone used it, and what you do is you actually, after you finish doing whatever you're doing, if there's something that you do not want covered, you paint this masking over it. Let it dry. Go ahead and do the technique, and after you finish, you peel this off. It keeps the item that you do not want disturbed or painted or antique or whatever. You peel it off of that area afterwards, and it wouldn't be affected by the rest of the technique that you're using around it. Another thing I want to make sure I use for my ICADs is my jelly plate. I have to use this because I purchased, this is the 6x6. I purchased the 8.5 by 11, whatever that size is, yeah. And I purchased this one, so yes, I have to use this jelly plate and a lot of my stencils because that is something I have not been doing. So I hope you all can come and watch my journey as I go through my ICADs this year. And I've committed myself to really working and expressing myself on these little cards. So yeah, come back and see me, see what I've done. Hey, thanks for watching, everyone. Hope everyone is having a great year so far. Talk to you later. Bye.